Radiant team ban. Team Empire's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Team Empire's turn to pick.
Hello everybody and welcome to your 2-game series of Dota Pit by G2A Season 4.
10
Dota Pit.
seconds remaining.
First season. This is true.
5
That'll be
seconds
fun.
remaining.
You know, they said, hey, Dota Pit came to cast. Like,
Zeus.
quality tournament, quality admins.
Team
Yeah.
Empire's turn to pick.
A good reason to go to Croatia. I've never been. I've also never been to Croatia.
That's part of the. I am not a traveler, Toby.
You're not?
Never in my life have I been one of those people who's like, I need to go see Europe. You know, being an American, that's kind of the thing. Like, oh, travel Europe and that sort of thing. I'm never that guy. I was like, never did I have a desire to do that. I was just like, no desire whatsoever.
10 seconds remaining.
But becoming a caster and having it
5
being like a
seconds
side
remaining.
benefit where I get to see these other places and experience some of these other cultures. It's
Reserve
pretty cool.
time.
It's pretty cool. I like it.
You know, it's a known fact that only 5% of American pass have.
America's a really goddamn big country. We don't need to go anywhere else. You know, like
Radiant
exploring
team
America
pick.
by itself is like enough of a thing. What? Why are you smiling at me like that? It's true.
Radiant team ban.
Let's hit a lesson, everybody, because you're giving me flashbacks to a conversation I had with Charlie, as well as K-pop Toasters, where it's like, America is amazing! You can go from one side of America to the other, and you'll experience every culture there is around the
10
world, in
seconds
every
remaining.
style there is around the world. America needs nobody else, because we've got everything in
seconds
America.
remaining.
It's just like, okay. Superiority,
time.
superiority complex.
I mean, America's pretty damn big.
It's...
Well, I'll just leave it at that. America's kind of a big deal. Anyway, we have a Zeus
you know a
Spain.
place which is bigger? Mother Russia. It is the biggest in the world.
I'm not sure if their claim it is.
It just breeds them stronger. Americans are too soft and like pudgy. The Russians, they learn to fight at a very young age to
Radiant
survive.
team ban.
I don't know if you want to go down that road.
Out of Russia.
Listen, just you wait, alright? Putin gets out of control, America will shut that shit down. Alright, we have a Zeus Bane picked
10
up by Team
seconds
Empire,
remaining.
Lone Druid, and Oracle. By
Good luck with that
HellRaisers.
shit! Have a good
5
leader
seconds
first!
Excuse, alright.
Actually, you got a good leader right now. I agree with him. He's actually kind of cool.
Excuse me, are you
But
throwing shade on
your dude.
Barack Obama?
No,
Who
no, he's
who is
awesome.
good? Who is
He's
cool enough to know that clearly
Team
Kendrick Lamar
Empire's
would
turn
win
to
in a
ban.
B4 with Drake? Got it.
Obviously, he's good,
Go
but
you, Barack.
is he sticking around? As far as I'm aware,
Let's not talk about that.
you're currently going
Bat
in
Rider.
between Miss Clinton as well as douchebag hair. You're screwed.
Alright.
It's a two-party system.
We
It's
don't-
like Simpsons. We vote for
I'm
one alien
sure,
and we vote for the
Toby,
other.
I'm
You are
sure-
enslaved no matter what.
I'm sure Dota Pit does not want us to talk about U.S. politics right now. Because we do have a draft. Bat Rider, Gyrocopter, banned away by Team Empire. Furion and Spectre, banned by HR. And now Treant Protector for Team Empire. This Treant Protector is just coming out of the woodwork, man. These goddamn Iron
5 seconds
Talon
remaining.
Aghanims by 25 minutes.
It's
Reserve
wonderful.
time.
It's protection from all, or for all.
And
in all
Treant
the lanes.
Protector is pretty good. Any AoE disables are going to be pretty good to have against Lone Druid. It's nice to be able to like entangle multiple things and really annoying bear.
and you still got your direct control, which comes in from the Bane. Your lane presence is, like, it's always one of those things where you never really feel the power of the Treant Protector until he actually hits you, and then you're like, okay, this guy actually does a hell of a lot of damage. It's still, I want to see how the jungle of this Treant Protector goes compared to our last Treant Protector. Primarily, I'm looking for No-Fear to actually have the Stout Shield, or at least something which lets him jungle, like become a carnivore and buy a tank. Because it's you can't survive as a Treant Protector with us like doing what he was doing. It was very inefficient.
I mean, I think you still need to start out with the Iron Talon. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes this time around, and see if it's a lot of it was that he had to give away his living armor.
Yeah. But that's also meant to be the purpose of Treant Protector. Like, he's meant to increase the laning presence by giving that living armor to your offlaner, who may not always be able to survive on the offlane, or it allows them to run something like the unbanned out Spirit Breaker, which they keep running, lost, and they can just put him to the offlane. I'm wondering if Spirit Breaker, like, because Taunt's really going to cause him problems. Like, he initiates, obviously, Oracle causes everyone problems. Realizing Cask is going to cause him problems if he's running into it, or running away from it.
I think it's pretty decent against a lone druid. Well, I would be okay with a Spirit Breaker pickup once by Team Empire. It's also a good hero to close the distance with Oracle and put pressure on him. Like, you charge in Oracle into a team fight, right? And then Oracle shows his nasty little alien face. Then defeated allies, enemies.
Oracle
and then Spirit Breaker. I am nice.
I never listened to Oracle talk.
No. Sounds nothing like that. But he should definitely sound more obnoxious. That would reflect.
He should have, like, I don't know if you've ever watched, like, The Princess Bride. The guy that goes, "It's inconceivable."
Oh, of course.
He should be that guy. He should. He's
what's
like,
that actor's
"I can
name?
save you. It's inconceivable."
Yeah.
He should be him.
That guy's a legend. I can't remember what his name was.
I believe he's actually dead now.
Yeah.
Too many actors this year.
Yeah, Oracle would have saved him.
10 seconds.
But Spirit Breaker can like see the Oracle and just like throw out the ults.
5 seconds.
Get a good disable, get a good bunch of burst damage. Maybe you get 17%, and he can bump the Oracle into a position. So Team Empire. I was actually going to call that HellRaisers might one position Lone Druid and offlane Faceless Void, and I think that's why Team Empire were taking so long, and ended up not going for the Spirit Breaker here, because the Faceless Void Witch Doctor is like a really strong combination, and would have given them the kind of initiation against like Zeus, for example. I think Faceless Void is rather strong versus Zeus as a whole, just like the burst damage that he has versus the time lapse. Zeus doesn't offer any disables.
5 seconds.
So you're looking at it more as a block pick as well.
Yeah, I think he kind of could be. They still have the offlane position open. It's not bad with their lineup by any means. It's going to set up the Zeus for a lot of success. Having a good, frontline initiator like that makes the world a lot easier for Zeus. Now, HellRaisers get the Death Prophet, so they've got this pushing synergy on their team. They've got a hero that can beat out the Zeus, or well, we talked about this before, but it'll just kind of farm battle back and forth. Maybe Death Prophet ends up killing the Zeus at some point in time, but it's unlikely.
Team
Far
Empire's
back.
turn
Actually,
to
Bant
pick.
Terrorblade is the last one.
Terrorblades.
Talked about like what can happen with Terrorblade when you play with Oracle, and how powerful that combo can be. In this game,
so I'm gonna say that HellRaisers already have like their berries on the board, the big late game carries like Lone Druid for the late game, Death Prophet for the game. I really think that they, in order to round out their lineup a bit better, they do need an early game carry. I would say Slardar functions really well with Death Prophet. It's a good initiator to catch out the Zeus. Has a leading disable against the Faceless Void as well. Death Prophet is great against Faceless Void. For many reasons. Exorcism,
tearing apart any sort of allies, but it's the ability to soul siphon potentially before you get chronoed, and it's also silence is one of the big ones. Silence is destroy faceless, because he's just like Weaver. He's so dependent. So I would say that Slardar works really well here with the Death Prophet
10
and minus
seconds
armor.
remaining.
They could go something like a Wraith King as well, something that picks up
5
blade mail
seconds
against
remaining.
the Zeus. It doesn't really worry about the nukes too much because he got a second life. I think that would be really good as well.
Radiant team.
Weaver
pick.
now.
This almost makes me think the Team Empire are going to run offlane Weaver. Like we saw Era. Actually, no, sorry, we didn't see Era doing it with State Game. The fact that Divorce has so much experience on that Wii hero. He's got a lot of experience on the Faceless
true.
Void too, but this is what's making me wonder, because you could run a safe lane Faceless Void, have more killing potential against the offlaner. I'm still
10
thinking that Faceless
seconds
Void Chrono's
remaining.
not going to do that much. Like, I'm kind of with you. Like, if he gets silenced, if he gets middle of the
5
ulti, like the
seconds
Exorcism,
remaining.
Wishlock just Death Walking him and just zoned him out.
Ooh, a Tiny instead. So is this off lane Tiny and safe lane Lone Druid? Or are we actually putting a safe lane? It's probably safe lane Tiny. It's also probably safe lane Weaver. It is. Pavos is taking Void.
Okay.
So we're going pretty traditional. But I think Tiny does kind of fit that bill. It's an initiating hero, which was something I was looking for. Like Wraith King builds blank, Slardar blank builds blank. It's a hero that can put pressure on the enemy mid. Zeus, he's such a big damage dealer. You want to hear threaten him. I thought that Wraith King with his Blade Mail and Blink would be good enough, or Slardar with the synergy on two big physical damage dealers like Death Prophet and Lone Druid, and Witch Doctor actually with
10 seconds remaining.
Death Ward. Yeah. But instead, Tiny
5
who can
seconds
solo pop the Weaver and Faceless Void. Actually, they're all three squishy cores that are susceptible to being burst down by combos. Like
They do still need to find the items on this time. But they got to run him in that number 1 position and give him a lot of space. Unless they're planning on doing some creep manipulation on the top lane with, like, tossing creep back to pull. But even then, that's only going to give you 1. It's,
I would say if Team Empire's lineup was a little bit more 5-man, they probably would have gone for Wraith King or Slardar.
still be really worried with that, because you just kite them.
Yeah,
But that's my biggest concern right now for HellRaisers. They got a lot of ways they can save, but if they can't force the issue, the Weaver's just going to Shakuchi away all the time. They'll regenerate up and come back into it. The Void might get good Chronos. They may just pop one. If their Faceless Void can get both of the supports, then what else do the cores really do? Like, you need to have farm on the Tiny to really make it work.
The thing for me is, like, I was thinking, okay, why would they pick Tiny over, like, the other heroes I suggested? Was it simply, we wanted to play Tiny or something? But I think Tiny actually exploits a potential weakness in Team Empire's lineup. They're unlikely to do a whole lot of 5-manning. I would say that Weaver's a fairly independent hero. Treant Protector is going to be like jungling a lot of the times, and Zeus does his own thing. There's a lot of like split focus of Team Empire. They're not going to be like barreling down mid as 5. So Zeus is going to be, Tiny's going to have a lot of opportunities to get quick pickoffs. When he has that Blink Dagger running around, pick off here, pick off there. And as we talked about, these heroes are pretty squishy, are susceptible to that kind of combination, which Tiny does better than Slardar or Wraith. I think as a whole, it was a really smart choice by HellRaisers, and the only way that they can be punished is Team Empire win their laning phase and are able to pressure pretty damn early, because you do have a bit of greediness on the side of HellRaisers, because Tiny, I would say, requires a bit more farm than someone like Slardar.
The battle begins.
And maybe Wraith King. I don't know. Their timings are just slightly different. And he's more like pick off. He comes online earlier with that Blink Dagger. Wraith King has a longer period of time where he's super 25 to 45 minutes is all Wraith King all day. While Tiny has like a 15 to 25 minute mark where he's going to be like Blink Daggering around, picking off people. You can only do that for so long.
Interesting little thing that just happened there with Funnick. I thought for a moment he's going to wait and let the creep wave chase the bear a little bit longer. It's a small little thing, but I saw, oh god, who was it that did it the other day? But the Nightmare basically stops the pull. Like, you put a Nightmare on the creep wave, it runs forward, the range creep will always still take the aggro.
Yeah, we
and,
watched that
and
game
follow
together.
The bear.
Mhm.
Yeah, who was it that did it?
It might have been Team Empire. It might have been like.
It might have actually been Funnick. I don't think it was Funnick in that game. It
I
might have
thought I thought No Fear was playing the Bane.
Yeah, it could have been. But
Yeah, I
because
think that's
what
what
No
it was.
Fear did was he actually allowed, because this was in a little bit more of a different position. It was up around this area. But what he let it do was let the bear tank the creep wave a little bit more and pull it down a little bit. Then he nightmares it, so the creep wave runs back up, and the creep wave was closer towards the tier 1 tower on the top lane. Just a little bit closer than what it was by did there. Just a small little thing, but he just gave it a little bit more of a positional advantage to the safe laner. Too long, obviously, then the radiant creep wave comes onto the tower, and things aren't as great.
It's interesting. Resolution gets a level of lightning bolt at level 3. This means that Zeus is gonna usually go max lightning bolt from here. Have it fully ready to go. See, this is the problem. You can't, like, Aphro will just always push forward and sit on your side of the cliff, and you can't really fight him. If you get close enough to right-click him, obviously, Death Prophet wins the right-click battle straight up, but then Soul Siphon comes up.
But that's why if you go for the Thunderbolt now, you have that chance where maybe you can get the kill and you just open up the space yourself, so you just decide to go full aggression.
Yeah, exactly. If
That's
two
a
levels-
haste rune. Is this gonna be a first blood onto a Vorst? Doesn't throw the paralyzing cast out straight away, but it's still a haste rune and malediction. So you'll drop a Vorst down low, but yeah, it's not gonna be first blood.
Maledict is really ineffective against Faceless Void because he undoes damage.
How these creeps still have aggro? This shouldn't happen,
Oh, no,
right?
no, they're just heading back.
Dire's middle tower is under
In mid lane?
attack.
No, they're not. That was the mid lane wave. He
what
moved
the
up
fuck?
and the attack reached the Faceless Void, who was the mid lane, and it pulled the creeps from mid. Now Resolution's fighting under his own tower, and they're going to push a double wave towards Aphro.
That's weird.
And they just stopped. They just stopped at the rune area. It's like, okay, now we haven't seen him in a while. We'll now lose aggro.
Dota 2 doesn't make much sense.
Sentry was watching No Fear's rotation. Aphro's still committing. Even though he saw No Fear, they're going to go in for that leash seat. Resolution's still got a little bit more of a nuke up his sleeve, but it's not going to be enough to find the kill. They turn for the Crypt Swarm, and goddamn, locks two of them together, but because of the leech seed and the living armor, they're able to be this aggressive. The issue for Zeus is he's got no bottle charges available. In fact, Resolution's just walking home now.
I believe that was Aphro having both of his stacks at Spirit Siphon going. Like, I think he started on the Zeus, and then as Train Protector came in with the Leech Seed, he did another Soul Siphon, or Spirit Siphon, excuse me, on the Train Protector, which obviously is even better, right? Because it's percentage based. Then you're sucking so much more out of the Train Protector because he has high HP.
As we'll come back to the mid lane.
If he's not careful, by the way, he could get caught out by rotation somewhere. Jesus, lone druid. Holy. I just watched him all of a sudden, like, from full to nothing.
What was the attack there? A level 2 brain sap, and
I'm presuming he was slightly out of position. He got nightmared, and then Shukuchi, brain sapped, right clicked, geminated attack, and that was probably enough to bring him 400 each. But you identified it correctly. Resolution is essentially looking off for the max nuking power at level 7, so he can maybe kill Aphro, as opposed to the more farm efficient arc.
it was one of his big traits when he first hit the scene. Like, Resolution was that guy that just, he won so many lanes because he realized just how far he could push it. You know, I looked for this so much during the last game, and now it happens in this game where he just dies to like...
It was probably farm efficiency.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think he just fought out, and then just...
But it was one of the old things of Resolution where he would get kills when you'd least expect it. That's when everyone was claiming him as like the new Dendy out of Ukraine. Oh, Shashlo. So much damage. He's going to put that Fairy Fire, and Funnick doesn't have enough damage to finish this, and this will be first blood. Even the Entangle to boot, but Shashlo, goddamn's trying to heal him up. Dan's going to Shikuchi himself down. Can he actually reach Shashlo with the damage? Yes, he can. And then Resolution, well, he kills the Cures. One way to do it. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, a Vorce being tossed up, he'll leap himself away.
Talking about this to me, that Zeus should always try and kill last hit on the side lane kills. His ultimate, because it's so important for the mid to get that experience for the kill.
For Vorst?
Oh, yellow one.
Onyx does it solo.
Oh,
and then
Undershock.
commits into Undershock.
Oh, wow.
Bane, he's actually going to get a double kill onto Funnick. This seems to happen so much with the Empire games that we cast, where Funnick actually pushes a Vorst into the 4 position. Just because he finds these kills. Like, a Vorst sacrifices himself time and time again. But it just makes Funnick more and more powerful.
He knows the most, and he's like... He's just like whispering here. He's like, go a little deeper.
Do it. For the glory of the support.
Just attack them. You can do it. And then he's always sitting on their side, reaping in the benefits of Vols's aggression. It works out for Team Empire too. I mean, this Void there, yeah, he died, but it was well worth the trade-off, 1 for 2.
Interest, like, when does Void get his life back with the Time Walk? Is it the initial jump point, or is it at the end?
I mean, you go invulnerable.
Right, so you are in...
Yeah, during time lock. So,
okay.
I'm not sure if it matters too much.
You're invulnerable then, so you actually, like, if someone like threw out, for example, Under God's Wrath, it wouldn't do any damage to you.
Yeah,
So potentially he could Time Walk while that creep is being tossed at him, and he'll dodge the damage. Or he can just backtrack it.
Yeah, it would just dish. Yeah, as far as the... Should work that way.
Oh, here comes your Avalanche. Paralyzing Cask as well, they're going to bounce back down again. Okay, when Oracle's there, they'll have enough, but the bugs, they'll latch onto Goddamn, and he cannot survive that. There's too much damage that just comes in from the bugs, and now they can move over to Undershock as well. He has mana for a toss back. Fellow Warrior is a long way from home, and Aloha Dance is forcing the issue. He went for the early on, he lost the pathing. He stopped running for a moment. Wish Doctor will end up denying himself, but with a Thunder God's Wrath, Aloha's going to find just enough damage to finish the job. And that's a big kill, also a solo kill for the Weaver, even if Resolution does help.
Oh man, he missed out. Did the Witch Doctor die before or after the Zeus?
He died before.
So that means Resolution just barely missed out on taking the kill on Witch Doctor as well.
Was it on cooldown or?
Radiant's bottom
I have no
tower
idea.
is
But
under
obviously
Because
he
he's
didn't
level
see it.
7 3/4 now.
Yeah. Obviously he didn't like know the Witch Doctor was. All he knew is that he ran away earlier. Haste. Yeah, the Witch Doctor was just.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So we've got our rotation. Ashlo's Bear can tank up most of the creep wave, and Apo can just force it in with that exorcism. And it's just as a force came up here to try and farm. He's actually building Iron Town as well, and he has got a time lapse himself out of this one. And faces Void into the trees. He can't survive.
Dire's top tower
He accepts his fate, and this will be the tier 1 tower on the top lane gone. Maybe they'll get a revenge on the bottom lane with the Nightmare set up over an Undershock. Aloha's waiting, and with Fiend's Grip and the bugs, there's enough negative armor, they'll rip through the Tiny. So they're able to get a dual combo kill. That top tier 1 tower will be the trade-off as well.
I don't think Aloha Dan should be getting maxed out Gemini to attack second. I really think he should be maxing out the Swarm. In a game like this, where everybody is so low armor, the Tiny is super low armor. The Oracle is very low armor for a support. Witch Doctor,
the Swarm
same
got buffed
exact
as
thing.
well.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually more of a powerful ability than, I would say, Gemini attack at the moment.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But I do like the way that Aloha Dance is building and playing this game. Like, I think the Urn was he needed to be aggressive. He identified that Team Empire, some of their weakness could be that they're a little bit too focused on like lanes and they don't have very much ganking potential, but Weaver is completely offsetting that just with the way he's playing the Weaver.
When you go for your Urn, what kind of item transition are you looking for? Is it when you just go directly into BKB and Deso and try and fight that way?
You're probably still looking at Desolator for sure. This game...
Can they save the tower?
I think BK...
Dire's middle tower has
Nightmare's
fallen.
going to go over on Afro. They don't have the Crypt Storm available, now they do. 1 second is off cooldown. And they're just focusing on, well, initially the Bear. The Witch Doctor just evaporated at that point. Bear is -5 armor, so it shouldn't be too difficult to kill off. You'll have to go underneath the tower for it, however. And Afro is still there. He starts off with that Siphon onto Aloha. Just keeps Shikuchiing himself in. He's got time lapse, so there's no reason why he can't get aggressive.
Oh, you know what's funny? You know how, like, I think Weaver, Oracle tries to kill Weaver, right, with his combo.
Mm-hmm.
Goes down the E. I think if Weaver time-lapse, like he survives and he time-lapse, he'll undo the damage, but he'll keep the rest of the duration of the heal on him. From the Oracle.
That sounds mechanically right. Yellow Warrior's dead.
Gotta make...
He turned back in for a little bit too long. Oh no! Funnick started with the Fiend Script. Now they just go instantly into the Siphon. There's Malediction on Funnick as well. No Fear is trying to spill it out like by enough space, but with the Avalanche arriving from Undershock, Funnick cannot survive. They've burnt their ulti. Oracle still dies solo to a Weaver, so add 2 more Urn Charges to him. If he gets a fast death, so like look at
Yellow Warrior too.
Yeah, Shikuchi through. There's no Avalanche. It's on cooldown. That attack will be enough. They'll toss him up, but now he can just time-lapse out the damage. Trade-off was there. Death Prophet killed off Resolution, but Aloha just trying to Shikuchi himself away. The Avalanche, oh, it barely misses, allowing Aloha just to run away.
They also don't have silence yet on AFO.
Problem.
So that's...
that would even be worth like 1 value point. That's a 3-second silence at level 1.
Yes and no. I mean, if you do that, I think you definitely still maxed out Spirit Siphon, but maybe you leave Cryptstorm at level 3 and pick it up at level 9.
But having that one, like, see Interruption as well, because he can stop Bane from doing his thing. He could potentially stop that ulti for 3 seconds from the Train Protector.
There's a lot of good things that come of this silence. Probably just didn't think that far. He's probably just thinking 404, I'll get level 10, level 11
destroy,
before...
laning and destroy, laning and destroy them. That's all I have to do. Yeah.
That's what Death Prophet does.
Undershock's getting very close to that Blink Dagger of his.
Radiant's
He triggers his bounty rings, I think it'll be 100 or so gold away.
And this is why, like, I have so much respect for Aloha Dance, and why I think he easily top 5 of CIS players, if not like top 3, is because of things like this. Like, he's shown himself to be a proficient support player. He's playing a great carry on Empire. And he's also, like, he will change up his playstyle to fit the game.
No Fear. Paralyzing Count's gonna bounce out. No Fear couldn't get the ulti off. However, with this extra TP coming in, the Nightmare Train Protector, he'll get the ulti off, and the Crypt Swarm will still find the kill. The silence is over on Weaver this time around. But still, you can Shikuchi down, time lapse is available, Thunder God's Wrath will do the work, and goddamn, he's stuck in the tree line. The Observer was giving them the perfect vision here. A triple kill will come the way of Aloha Dance Resolution! Nightmare!
Oh, nice play.
That'll save him. He tried to switch the aggro, but I don't know if the other hero switched back onto him.
Honestly, the aggro is a little bit frustrating sometimes. Sometimes you A-click on someone, but you stop it too quickly for the effect to move. But yeah, there's the Desolator.
Actually, like,
definitely the correct build so far.
I am really loving this from him. Like, this is one of those times where it gives me flashbacks to EE style of Weaver, where it was just so aggressive. Like, EE would get something more like a Face Boots and always use time lapse to attack, but this rotation timing, Aloha's just shown himself to be so efficient at it. Like, he's always, like, he's 10-0-2 on a Weaver.
Plus, he's maxing out the Swarm, and only leveled up Geminate Attack.
To level 2?
Just 1 extra level at 8.
6 to 5 seconds? Is there a critical change there? Like, that impact somewhere? It might have also just been a misclick, like he changed his mind and went for Swarm after, but...
Yeah, he probably just realized, like, man, the Swarm is good here. I should clarify, though. I said that, like, Aloha Dance switched up his playstyle. I think that's a little inaccurate to say, because Aloha Dance is a rather aggressive carry. What I should say is that he is probably switching up the traditional Weaver playstyle, which is a lot more farm oriented. He's playing this Weaver like way more aggressively, like than 99% of any other Weavers seen. This is one of the most aggressive Weavers I've ever seen, going back to like the old Medallion first builds on Weaver, where you just like try and blow someone up with minus armor.
That timing of Thunder God's Wrath snapped at the same time as HellRaisers smoked.
Good call.
So it actually did the damage, and this is exactly the same time as Empire was going into the pit. Like, you got a very early Desolator up, so you wanted to try and take out Roshan. It wasn't the full Vlads, so Empire wasn't as confident, and they instantly bailed out. They're expecting the attack from HellRaisers. They'll weather the storm and then go again, unless Resolution gets caught out like this, but he's going to be Nightmare and protect himself from the damage. Funny's got the perfect high ground advantage until the Paralyzing Cast bounce up with the Yule Scepter. Stops a lot of it, and now your Chronosphere down. How much damage can they do? YOLO Warrior, he'll take a fall. No fear now with the secondary control from Empire. Just putting down the roots. Undershock will die as well. Avro's ulti almost achieving nothing. Yes, they end up killing off the Zeus, but he was the initial one to be attacked. And Aloha Dance, you're going in a little deep there, but he dodges the silence by backing up. And Empire now have 3 heroes of HellRaisers on the sideline. There's no ulti for the Death Prophet.
Oh, Jesus.
Aloha Dance. He's just like, even after he backed out, which was the right call, he just tanked all that damage from the DP. Half expecting him to time-lapse there just with the confidence he was sitting there.
Maybe he's just saving it for moments like this, in case HellRaisers try and contest Roshan. Like, they didn't know Empire was doing Roshan before. Empire just pulled out.
Oh, this is great. Team Empire, that wasn't the cleanest setup by them, because they knew, like, okay, the smokes and stuff like that. They still, you know, kind of got caught, but overall the mindset
Here
was
they
right.
come. Afro still doesn't have ulti. Roshan's now down at 500, 400. They gotta finish the job. The Avalanche connects on 2. They toss him up. Who's gonna get Roshan? Tiny's already killed off a 4. And the egg is snatched by the Tiny. The kill does still go the way of Team Empire. The Sentry Ward will drop. They can't get the control over on the Weaver. Resolution tries to keep him down, but the Fortune End catches 2. They're still running out away from the Death Ward. Resolution, you also will protect him for the moment, but he's still gonna go down. And Team Empire, that Aegis Immortal ends up in the hands of the Tiny. And that's after he just picked up the Blink Dagger. A license to kill has been granted.
Yeah, that actually kind of re-emphasizes my point. What Team Empire did there was probably generally sound, but could have used perhaps a little bit more just light tweaking in order to make it better. And this time around, they really did pot. Like, that mid-fight still went well, despite the Zeus almost getting, you know, bursted first. That would have been terrible for them. But they still managed to make it work. This fight, however, like, they just needed to do Roshan literally 2 seconds faster, and they would have been in a pretty good...
Nightmare the better start with. Tree's got the ulti, and it looks like HellRaisers gonna make the right decision to back up. They really hate bears.
Oh, no, I don't know what that was from Funnick. I mean, it might have been necessary. I know, it definitely wasn't. With the entangle there, and then he could have waited out the entangle, slept the bear, they could have repositioned themselves around it again. There's no way that was necessary.
What do you think about this Dragonlance build? Aloha's
From,
second
Weaver?
item, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I'm pretty down.
Oh, until this happens. This is where my concern was kicking in. They need life on the Weaver!
got it!
He actually time-lapsed out! The Undershock's gonna burn the Aegis Immortal. Horse will go for the Chronosphere on the already dead Witch Doctor, but at least it forces Undershock to stay underneath the tower. But Oracle as well, as the Death Prophet will be able to escape because of it.
Yeah, I really like it. Weaver does suffer from the low range that he has, so making him almost up to a 600 range hero is pretty good. I think the stats are nice for Weaver, like what's wrong with attack speed and getting...
The survivability, though, is a lot lower now in the Weaver. Like, there's a reason that you normally go the BKB, because it gives you 1 immunity and 2 a little bit more life.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The BKB is only very slightly delayed. It's delayed by 900 gold total.
Oh, goddamn!
Super dip.
Oh, yeah, that's
Radiant's middle tower
real damage.
is under attack.
But think about it that way. That's the big power of Dragonlance right now, is the efficiency of building it. He's still gonna have that Ogre Club for BKB. He's probably gonna break apart
Radiant's
Dragonlance.
middle tower is
Or,
under attack.
Why is Aloha not switching the aggro?
Radiant structures
He's taking the
are
he's taking the
care.
tower the entire time. Nightmare, a little bit of a miss click there from Phonic. He meant to try and save the Zeus. They won't be able to. And there's just a simple retreat out to safety.
Halfway to the Ags, though, on the Tree and Protector. Fire in their progression.
Yeah, I mean, because I think you break apart the Dragonlance for BKB and
I think then you actually you make BKB, but then you make Dragonlance again, and then you break apart the Dragonlance for Butterfly when you want that quarterstaff, and then you could just sell the Ogre Club. Crap. Like 500 gold plus. It's relatively. But yeah, you can already see he's got the Mithelheimer. See if he buys the recipe.
We'll find out in 300 gold.
I do really like that. That's why I want him to build Dragonlance again. Because I do really like the idea.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Think about this from Resolution as well, because he's got the Arcane Boots already, but he didn't rush the lens. So he keeps the Arcane Boots and just gets an extra energy booster.
Yours was necessary against the against the Tiny, but more so about the Death Prophet Silent.
I'm
just thinking now, like, because the fact you're still building into the lens. I know it's a great item over on a Zeus, but maybe he turns this into, I don't say Bloodstone or something else. Either way, we'll get to discuss it a little bit later on. No Fear still trying to get around the back end. The silence hits No Fear perfectly, but of course, he gets a great ulti, catching Yellow Warrior as well as the Oracle just on the edge of it. You're still going to lose your Tree and Protector as Lone Druid dodges that last attack from Aloha Dance. The job we finished up by Funny, but of course, copying too much damage. Aphro now going to work. The Siphon plus the ulti, the toss in from Undershock. They pulled him out of position.
They did not respect the Death Prophet at all. Especially Havos there, who time-lapses into the Witch Doctor in order to try and finish him off underneath the Death Prophet's ultimate. That like never was going to work for him. He was very clearly going to die. If they had just played a little bit more passive and just taken the two supports that they had, they would have actually been fine, I think. Two pickoffs gotten out.
Bottom tower is under attack.
This is now that second critical moment. The first one being around Roshan, now the top lane fight. She's just giving HellRaisers resources, and we keep hitting these moments whenever we cast Empire. I think this is like our 6th game of Empire we've cast in 3 days.
Yeah, between Dota Pit and WePlay, we've actually done a lot of Empire.
Yeah,
they're going through the grind.
Yeah, but it's one of these things where we keep having moments like this where, like, if Empire just they showed a little bit more patience, a couple of those like split decisions in the middle of the fight, which could have just changed the entire course of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have one game which I think pushed over an hour just because of one of those decisions.
Yeah, in fact, I would say that HellRaisers are now winning the game. Between that Roshan play and like some other small stuff, that fight and the Roshan play are the two biggest things that has lost Empire what was a pretty big advantage.
If it wasn't though for the Weaver's position right now, like I would agree with you. But it's still feeling like Aloha Dance is doing so much. He's 15-1-5 on a Weaver. His BKB is done with the Desolator, so the damage output should be pretty well secured.
Let me clarify that.
Okay.
I think HellRaisers is beating Empire. That said, Aloha Dance is beating HellRaisers.
I can agree to that. They're going to run in. They're underneath the Sentry Ward. Off goes that ulti, and a big ulti from No Fear with the Yule Scepter, allowing time for Aphro to get some space, but goddamn's already down. Yola Warrior, again, not being part of this, and they Fiend Strip the Bear to keep him out of the fight. Still a 3-man silence. A boss may die before he can even get the ulti off, but yep, Aphro doesn't survive much longer. Now they jump out, and they do not find the Tiny who TP'd himself away to safety. They're still trying to chase the bear, but gonna get recalled out to safety.
Yeah, I was gonna clarify my statement even more because unfortunately we didn't have the time, but Aloha Dance, now that he has that BKB, is unstoppable in these team fights. He no longer has to worry about the disable of silence. He doesn't have to worry about getting just bursted down by Tiny. Most likely he's going to be coming into this fight, you know, and as soon as he right-clicks, he'll pop the BKB, and that's exactly what Aloha Dance did. He played it correctly, went in, destroyed some heroes, forced out, you know, a lot. And also a side thing, HR getting caught in that sort of situation where I think the Death Prophet ultimate was on cooldown, and then him actually popping the Death Prophet ultimate as he's dying was disastrous for them. That's pretty game changing.
Aloha really wants to last hit the tower. Of course, they still got that ultimate him and jumping him with the Death Ward. Can he time lapse out the Nightmare from Phonic? The Yule Scepter him up, so he's still got the time lapse, but it stopped him from regenerating all the HP. because he couldn't instantly just time walk himself out.
Yeah. Spirit Siphon's such a spell. Good
Dire's
lord.
middle tower is under attack.
Like,
It's
how
balance, Cap. It's
how
balance.
could he still not get away from that? Like, Faceless Void time lapses, and Spirit Siphon's just like...
Me drain your life. Just suck it for balance.
Seriously though, the HellRaisers pickup of the Tiny, it's working out. Like, they were losing the game, but you're seeing the Tiny's affecting this. Resolution is a non-factor, it seems, half the time. Because he's just like, he's coming in, he's ready to do lightning things, and all of a sudden...
It's just that the fight seems to be in such a weird position for resolution every time. Like, if you look at the bottom lane, this is where, like, HR had the vision. And Empire initiate down here. The fight then transitions down south, and Resolution is lightning bolting a bear that is Fiend Script. That was his input into that fight, pretty much.
Yeah, you know what this is?
No Fear's dead.
You know, for another analogy, Toby?
After No Fear dies.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
Maybe he's a little fatter than I thought.
Yeah, Point Booster and Ogre Club will do that for you.
If Sad thing is, if they killed him, they would have delayed the Aghanim Scepter. Now he's 80 gold away from having the Aghanims on a Tree and Protector. Or could do a harder knock life.
So here's a different analogy. I gave you Lord of the Rings last time. I'll give you a Pokemon reference this time.
Oh, God.
Zeus is Pikachu, and Undershock is Brock's Onyx. You know, like that. Resolution is real ineffective right now. Man, that's gonna be a butterfly soon. Aloha Dance.
When he stops being.
Yo, Aloha Dance has gone for almost everything that I've said, and I've backed him up on almost everything he's done. I love what he's doing in this game.
Dude, he's
the only thing he hasn't
convert.
done is rebuilt his Dragonlance, which, you know, admittedly I thought might have been kind of a silly idea, but I just like Dragonlance.
Aloha Dance, they jump in. For the damage! Aloha! He doesn't care about the Death Ward! He's just going to work, as well as even having that Spirit Siphon. Aloha will now time lapse out a lot of the damage. But the Tiny pop quickly. They got no other stuns to stop YOLO Warrior. A little too late. No Fear didn't let the ulti go. He didn't even put down the tree to get the vision. The Team Empire will only get one.
Okay, the supports were the saving grace of that team fight from HellRaisers. I mean, that could have done so much work, but Oracle did Oracle things. I'm not gonna like real gush about Gotham in that fight. He just hit his R button. But YOLO Warrior, he hit his R button, but his positioning was beautiful. Sitting in that tree area, that was actually so amazing. Like, he forced the Weaver back with double damage. The Weaver had to time lapse and not pursue the Death Prophet, who, like, guaranteed would have died if Aloha Dance could just pursue him.
Which is funny considering, like, the bottom lane fight, which Aloha Dance even uses time lapse.
Yeah.
And you managed to force it. Now, Death Prophet.
Dire's middle tower
He was
is
coming in
under
to have a look near the pit, but they won't achieve any more.
Okay, first it was a double damage rune for Aloha Dance. Now it's an arcane rune for Zeus.
You want to expand on your Pokemon reference? Weaver,
Sure.
Bug-type Pokemon. He's a Metapod until he gets his Butterfly, then he's Butterfree.
I mean, the pun works, the analogy does not. But I will give it to you, Toby, just because I love a good pun.
Nightmare. Resolution. Gonna be useful. Now he's gonna throw the ulti out. Goddamn. He's able to protect himself once again. Resolution wants some space. He also has the bear to get him out. But it's Aloha Dance moving forward. They Fiend Script over on Sharshlo. He'll take a fall. As Goddamn in the trees, he has no TP scroll. He spends his money before death, which will actually be over on a gem. While YOLO Warrior, of course, he's trying to be useful, and he's able to be so. He'll bring down the Witch Doctor. They did manage to track down Oracle in the tree line. And now the tier 1 tower will come under attack.
Butterfly. HellRaisers put up a pretty good fight and
Dire's
almost like
bottom tower is under
came back
attack.
into this game, but now they're pretty heavily losing once again. They do have the Ags on Undershock with level 3 ultimate as well. That is a pretty big game changer. I'm just not sure if this Death Prophet's going to be staying alive in these fights.
bottom.
It just seems to take too much.
The silence, it's not allowing Resolution to do anything at the same time. The Avalanche missed because the Yulsa went up and towards the air. Undershock running into the trees. Avorth is still trying to chase him, but coughing way too much damage. And again, respect the ghouls. They have to back up. They nightmare him up and just let it go. Meanwhile, Aloha Dance is taking up the top tower. He's actually going to 20 bomb in this game. Easily.
Radiant's top
20
tower has
bomb?
fallen.
Did you just say he's gonna 20 bomb? You know, I had no idea what that was until
spent time with
started.
Blitz?
Yeah, until Blitz and Jacob started playing CS so much.
Why did
Did you drop a 20 bomb?
Aloha just went straight past the DD rune? He didn't even pick it up. He just let
No.
Tiny take a DD rune. And he had an empty bottle as well. So now he's gonna run back to come grab the DD rune. It's like, nope, sorry. Stolen. Could even say KS.
What does Onyx turn into? Steelix, right? Or is that actually a...
I don't remember. I know, like, Metapod is Butterfree. I remember that one. 'Cause that was also like, Harden. What does he turn into, Cap?
Steelix is a Pokemon, I'm just not sure if it's actually evolution of On. Oh no, it is.
But how late into Pokemon did that actually come in? Because it may be beyond the time I accept new Pokemon.
It's definitely a second or third generation thing.
Okay, then
Because I know about it.
if it's second generation, I'll accept the third. Oh, boy! There she is!
Oh, wow.
Now he finally gets the chrono off. Dark slow. They're actually Aloha's killing off the bear to start with, even efficiency during team fights.
Radiant's middle
Gems on the
tower is
deck.
under attack.
Novi is walking forward to try and get a goddamn All-Strike's protected, but Funnick, he's there with the Fiend Strip. They pick off the Oracle. They'll go on to Apo as well. Another Yule Scepter from Resolution, just setting him up for Aloha to beat into him. The damage will not be enough as he time-lapses himself back out of the base. They were coming underneath tier 3 towers, almost tier 4 towers to grab those kills, but Empire take the tier
Radiant's
2.
middle tower has fallen.
And now it's a pretty comfortable push into the tier 3.
Yeah, absolutely. They had to make something big happen with Thundershock's big increase in physical damage, especially with the DD that he picked up, but they just can't seem to. They can't really lock heroes down well enough.
Aloha? Okay.
That's fine, especially if they can get the trade-off, they definitely will.
The Sun's making it a little bit more difficult, but that ulti from No Fear locked Undershock as well as Afro in position. Afro still has not triggered that ulti of his. He's waiting for something. Resolution just keeps Yule Sceptering out now. Havorst will end up dying. Funnick will not be able to TP out, so now... Okay, so Funnick, Havorst, and... They actually got Resolution too.
Yeah, their team, the Tiny is burst on one person. He's not a good controlling hero. I think this is a bit of a fault with HR's lineup. They needed something that would actually initiate and force fights better than just a single hero pickoff, because they're not using Exorcism in a very good way.
But what else do they really have as an option? It was their last pickup they had.
I mean, they just needed to go into the draft with, I think, a different mindset in general. I'm not sure how well Lone Druid and Death Prophet go together. Like, it feels like, oh, they pushing synergy and such, but there is something to be said about Lone Druid's lack of early game and does hurt Death Prophet.
That push synergy, you mentioned it lightly. That's actually quite strong. With that tiny Aghanim Scepter, like, they won a medium fight where Empire were pretty damn strong. Like, Empire is still a long way ahead. But you take out 3 heroes and you get the same trade as far as damage done to the base. A tier 3 for a tier 3.
Yeah. This is like a Tiny Wisp sort of setup, right? Where it's like, you could lose one fight and a laner Brax is like just gone instantly. Empire could lose one fight and lose the whole entire game based off of this pushing efficiency.
Well, goodbye, Havorst. According to the chat, it was gold and silver. That was when Steelix was invented.
Okay, it's second edition, right?
Yeah, it was red, blue, then gold, silver, right?
Yeah.
I will accept on it. I will accept Steelix and Fiend Script. Wow, that was quickly cancelled. Thunder God's Wrath got blown out as well. Weaver. Well, he can't do anything for the moment, but he's also got a heart. So the care factor of Aloha Dance is fairly low. There's no ulti. Actually, well, I say that. There is actually the ulti from Goddamn. So he's ready to go again.
Yeah, his care factor should have been a little bit higher. Because, yeah, you may have a lot of HP, but you remember that increase in HP also means Spirit Siphon is more effective, so...
True.
Yeah, that was just like a lot of HP that he got as soon as he came back down from the Yules.
If Apo can actually get Nocturne as well, combining it up with the Spirit Siphon, you're right, his synergy is perfect up against a Weaver if they can just hold Weaver nearby. Or if Weaver decides to stand nearby.
That's kind of an interesting idea that you took. I'm not sure if I've seen that from Death Prophets. Maybe I just over.
What does it really? It increases siphon, obviously.
Yeah. So it makes it so they can't break the siphon as easy. I like it, especially against the Faceless Void, because his time walk jump isn't long enough.
Special edition. Another thing to add to our pubs today. First, it was the everyone wants to be a black dragon. Someone really should, like, if you haven't done it yet, and you didn't watch the 2-team Liquid games that we cast earlier today in the We Play tournament, someone should definitely put Kuro into How to Train a Dragon. Fits that perfectly.
Yeah, really.
That would be the ultimate gift right now. Just have him riding the dragon.
Kuro tweeting out after those games, I just want to be an ancient. Dude. A refresher up next up for No Fear. The HellRaisers have a gem.
HellRaisers bought a gem?
Yeah,
because they bought it, and it's in the hands of No Fear. Yeah,
it's not back up yet. So.
That was when they were battling for it here, and the Oracle was he came back here to try and grab it, and that was the scramble.
This is why Treant Protector is so good right now, and Team Empire valuing so much is because it's only countered by gem.
Ooh, shot slow. This is a big pickoff. And drew it down. Oh, it should be down. Should be.
Yeah, they'll get
it. It is down. With this pickoff too, like, I just want to flag the amount of money that No Fear's got.
Yeah.
He's about to Lincoln Sphere Aloha Dance.
Oh, he bought back last death, so that's why he's down for over 85 seconds, so they can easily push a lane of racks with it.
Alright, he's still on cooldown for 2 minutes and a bit. So is the Tiny, so Tiny can't afford to die, even though he's got the money. He couldn't finish up the Assault Cuirass before this fight begins, so Weaver just starts on the rain tracks. As HR just have to spam whatever their cheapest abilities are to keep him away from it. The bottom lane push is actually quite decent for HellRaisers. It's not going to be enough because Resolution's back here, but also with Resolution being here, Empire don't have all the damage on the front lines they're really wanting.
Are they? Oh, okay, they're going to back up to do Like, are they really not pushing though with Lone Druid
They can't do Roshan just yet though. They're still 1 minute away from having your, I suppose without a Lone Druid it's not as bad, but no Chronosphere. There's no Thunder God's Wrath. There's not even the ulti from Treant Protector at the moment. Like, the Overgrowth is on cooldown.
That's probably why they didn't push. They're like, our ultimates are on cooldown, plus Roshan's up, but yeah, I think you have a lot of incentive.
To flashback to Empire's game earlier tonight, it's like, hey, what are we going to do? We're going to give away Roshan. Aww. Oh, this is the third Roshan though. So she's under Resolution. The Aegis that get into the hands of Weaver. Actually, well, I'd say he has to drop boots for that. Did he drop? Was it just Beast Scroll he dropped? Good. And the Lincoln Sphere is... Wait, no, I take it back. I actually thought Treant Protect just babysit the Weaver with a Lincoln Sphere or something along those lines, but then I realized like Siphon's just going to trigger it out the first time. It's not going to mean that much. So it is a refresher ulti. Destruct's revealed. I've lost.
Apparently, there's something. There is something called a Mega Steel. This is not second generation, later generation, but Tiny is becoming a Mega Steelix.
And he did the silence. They would have probably only triggered the Aegis the Immortal, but would save them pain down the road.
He's got that Moon Shard. Assault Cuirass is probably next. He needs that big upgrade in armor. Right now, he knows that his doesn't really matter too much about how little armor he has because he needs to focus on offense for now, and that's why he got the Moon.
They're still cleaving at 300 damage, and then with the Shadow Blade positioning, the Blink Dagger positioning, they can do a lot of work. They can't need to start removing these trees. However, this is a.
I would not be surprised if Undershock went like Daedalus next before actually picking up an AC. Because he is so focused on burst damage. He needs to kill both the Faceless Void and the Weaver are susceptible, right, of being disabled by the stun toss combination. And if he gets like one good critical, he might kill, maybe not the Weaver, but he'll definitely kill the Void before he can time lapse.
Here they come again. Team Empire preparing themselves for the push. Still no double ulti for the Treant Protector because he used the refresher orb already. And now, Aloha moves forward. Goddamn, just trying to disable him to get both Malediction as well as Silence off the bear. Trying to find entangles and beat into him. It's only the Aegis Immortal, however, and then he just time-lapsed out most of the damage anyway. The Ulset will delay a little bit more time, but the range ranks still ends up going down. This just like keeps showing how difficult it is to kill off this Weaver. He backs up, he'll regenerate out with the heart, and then they go and do it all over again. And HellRaisers need to commit somehow, but what are you going to do? Commit onto a Weaver with 1 watt, and 2, you may just burn all your burst damage that you crack the Aegis and Empire will then come in. Vorce is waiting with that Aghanim Scepter ulti just to go to work. He's a second saving grace. Aloha, there's your nightmare. Ah, no, they still...
They kill them without using Exorcism. That's really important. They didn't commit, over commit, right? This could be a successful hold by HellRaisers.
It's worth Resolution giving him the cheese now.
Because the thing is, if they use Exorcism in order to kill that first life of the Weaver, then he just Shukuchi's, BKB Shukuchi's away after that, and then they push as soon as the Exorcism is down. Especially since Apo doesn't have his Octarine Core yet.
There's your Silence. They start with the Siphon as well. Weaver's still copying so much damage. Now the Avalanche toss, throw the bear in. He's trying to get rid of the Dire Observer Ward, but now Timeless back up again. The fortification stops the melee rack from being taken. Weaver does get himself out to a safe distance, but that melee rack is so low. They gotta dodge the incoming swarm. As Aloha, he comes in again. This time there's no fortification to stop it. So Empire, this slow siege has done its work. Apo, now he commits the ulti. Weaver turns to try and fight. There is no timeless available, but they did pass that cheese over from Resolution. So Aloha dance now triggers that now. They've still got the Siphons going to work, but they haven't killed him off. They basically have to go through 3 Weavers. No fear. Is he actually visible right now? They're throwing at the Crypt Swarms. And they are not, in fact. No Sentry Wars down, the Observer planted by Empire, so they still keep that vision up of Vorce. Chrono is still available. Yeah, just time walk himself away. I don't know if Empire really need to force this either. Like, you burnt the Aegis to the Immortal. Weaver has actually bought a new item as well. It's a Monkey King bar he's purchased.
Quick correction by me. It was an oversight that I forgot Lone Druid was in the game, honestly. He, of course, has the Assault Cuirass. That actually leaves Tiny more free to go something. Or Avi. Oh, actually, he needs MKD against him. That would be his next.
We're about to rinse and repeat. This time though, Undershock.
Oh, nice toss back.
Tossing him in so deep. I think they're trying to force off him out, but Aloha dance. He's just tanking him for the time lapse. The BKB allowed it a big corner from Vorce. Catching out 3. They're keeping all the Warrior back 2 because of the roots coming out from No Fear. The Death Prophet's down with no buyback. Adds Tiny to the pool, but he does have buyback. Shashlo barely surviving back at base. They really need Aloha down. The racks are still intact for now. But Undershock, and he kept the committal. Sonic on the front lines, there is a chance for this. They're paralyzing Cask, but Empire just blinked themselves away to safety. Aloha's back to the front lines again. Takes out the tier 3 tower, Undershock. For the timing, but he just doesn't have it. And the longer they wait, the BKB's coming back off cooldown. So another guaranteed time lapse for Aloha Dance.
There's just no way that Tiny by himself can beat this out.
They have to do something.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
They have to wait for Death Prophet, I think, actually. That's the kind of their something. They know that it's the end of the game if they try and force a fight, and they know they'll lose it. So.
Well, if they're going to wait for Death Prophet, they have to keep the engagement going, and it looks like a Vorce with that big ulti. He's going to catch out Goddamn. Goddamn's going to be dead for a very long time if he's not careful, but right now, Vorce hasn't finished the job. Goddamn may be dead, but I was actually waiting for a bigger core kill to come their way. Undershock so low, and that's the big core kill. 108 seconds on the sideline for the Tiny. This will actually allow Empire, if they want to go for the GG push, if they can just dodge this Death Prophet ulti. They can come back in a moment. They nightmare to keep the bear off, so there's no control from that. Sonic cannot get the distance to escape. The bear's back to the front lines. Now it's a low hard dance. Look for that entangle. He jumps back with the time lamp, still very low on life. The Death Prophet ulti is not going to last so much longer. It's halfway through its duration. And Empire's still on the run out of here. No fear into Invis. Try and survive. Unfortunately for him, he's still visible because the gem that's over on Shashlo. And in fact, they actually end up having two gems. One for Bear, one for Master. And Empire will be forced back out again.
So, remember when we watched HellRaisers versus Power Rangers? And I talked about how, like, HR pretty convincingly won, but they had some sloppy plays that would have cost them a lot if they were facing a tougher team. I'm seeing a lot of those sloppy plays. The bottom fight, I think, is a great example for kind of get. They lost their bottom Rex. It was completely taken, and yet an engagement still went down from HellRaisers. And they ended up losing their Tiny. So the follow-up fight, when Death Prophet comes back up, the Tiny's no longer there, and they still are left in a situation where the 4 versus 5. If they were ever going to have an engagement, they might as well do it before the Rax goes down, right? You might as well do it 4 versus 5 before the Rax goes down. Because the Rax went down, there's no reason to ever force that engagement, ever. Like, you might as well just wait for the reset, wait for full 5 up, and go, you know, play out the game with 2 racks down. It's very unlikely that you're going to win, but at least you have a plan, a mindset.
If you can grab one fight and then just go mid for the GG push.
Yeah, I mean,
like that's HellRaiser's chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to keep Exorcism up, or they need to keep the Tiny the Lone Druid alive. That's the only way that quick push works. And then you've still got to worry about all the buybacks that can come out from Team Empire. Which right now they've only got it on the Weaver and the Bane. Which maybe isn't that bad, because it is still Aloha versus the world. He's 20... Okay. You know that one death he had when I think he was around 11 kills?
Yeah.
He's down 24-1-9. What's his even? His fantasy points have him currently clocked at 19.3.
He just completed a Moon Shard and consumed it, so he is complete.
It's the only thing you'd replace maybe BT's level 2?
No,
or would you actually keep the attack speed from Treads?
I'm not even sure if you get BTs, but you do replace the Treads. You might consider... No... I would consider Refresher, actually. I really would. Really? 2 time lapses in a fight, 2 BKBs in a fight.
See, I would wonder if you'd just go either BKB or Daedalus himself. Because if he could just go the Hunter, like if he's got buyback available, he can just time us back into position. And that's your BTs. If you don't use it early.
I'm not sure what you meant by BKB. Already has BKB.
Oh, sorry, no, yeah.
Daedalus, just Daedalus.
Just Daedalus.
I was like, he has BKB and MKB.
It was his second item.
Yeah. No, Daedalus wouldn't be bad. I mean, like damage-wise, it would. For me, I'm just looking at him going like he has enough damage. It's just sustain, and the sustain from Refresher is really good. But they got an Ags on Witch Doctor. That is a big progression from HellRaisers. Like, that item pickup single-handedly gives them like a 10% chance to win this game. 10% better than it was before.
Afro did so much work during that fight. You could see Empire trying to kill him.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have the damage. The Weaver, that's why I'm wondering if Daedalus is the way to go.
Could be. Yeah.
It's, like, when you remove the Zeus like that, the Zeus isn't doing anywhere near enough damage during the fights. Normally. And then you completely remove him. Okay.
Oh no!
YOLO Warrior. Nope, the paralyzing card's gonna bounce. It actually cancels most of the damage out from Havos, as well as the Weaver. Those stuns, the bounces were so good against him. Now Afro needs to get out here. Undershock, they got the brain zap. Afro protected. Goddamn, he's a hero. The Avalanche toss and the cleave. The damage from Undershock. Even the Thunder God's right. Afro, He will survive through it all!
And mid lane is getting completely creeped by shot flow now.
And he's taking top! Top's already gone!
Top's already gone.
He's actually gonna do this? Like, even if Shashflo dies right now, I don't give a crap. He's done so much work for his team. Nofi is trying to catch up to him, but Shashflo is just going to outrun him. Resolution with a Thunderbolt. He actually turned around the last moment. So the damage was never inflicted. There's no
if they kill the bear, though, he dies.
Is that actually enough damage?
Yeah, he dies.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the gem down.
Buyback, though.
And they have another gem back at home, so that's okay.
Yeah, he's got buyback, he's got bear in 16 seconds, so that's okay. You just took out top racks, you did severe damage to the range racks. Ampho might be in a little bit of trouble here, but where's the follow-up? Resolution's here, but that's not enough to get the kill, or maybe it is with the intrip coming in. Ampho needs to buy space with the Yule Scepter. He cancelled off one, but the Yule Scepter's still there from Ampho to try and buy some space. And in comes Goddamn in with the Death Ward. It's bouncing all through Empire. They're taking terrible, terrible damage. They have to back out of this one. The tosses around. The Lotus Orb reflecting. It's the Thunder goes flat, but it's still not enough damage. The Tiny will finally fall. The big one though, Ampho will still survive. Resolution's looking for the pickoff over on Goddamn. He makes a break for the tree line. They'll see him with the Thunderbolt. Goddamn, still regenerating himself out. He'll end up going down. Aloha, he's on the hunt. He's gonna find Yellow Warrior. He gets the kill too. There's no Ampho ulti, but there is the try buyback. Everyone apart from the Oracle can buy back, but you've got no Death Prophet Exorcism.
Radiant's top
All
tower
out
is
now.
under attack.
It's the last fight for HellRaisers.
They're going through backdoor regen. The creep wave has never entered the base. They have to wait for mid lane to arrive. So this is actually really difficult for Team Empire. And the Lone Druid is purposefully not buying back. Because if he buys back, he doesn't have the Aghanim Scepter upgrade that he's desperately searching for.
Yeah, that's going to be so big for being able to sneak in quick lanes of racks. If that bear could just operate solo and keeping the Lone Druid hero back at base, ready to pull in the bear at any time.
There it is.
That's going to be great. So Empire here, I want to point out something really big here. Funnick has been so clutch on the Lotus Orbs. The Lotus Orb was a great pickup because it bounces back Spirit Siphon, which obviously just like cancels it, right? It's like nothing is really happening. So that is like really big. But he's also multiple times bounced back big time spells. Such as like you saw that weird toss combination where like one gets tossed up and then the other gets bounced up in return.
Oh, Yellow Warrior. This time, Funnick. The Yule Scepter, a little bit of miscommunication, but they're still going to look for the kill now. The Lotus Orb is there. Funnick will drop, and where's that ulti? Aphro's got it available. They've still got all the bugs on him. Never negative armor, and the double ulti hits him from Zeus. Goddamn will survive for this one, and Aphro, he's trying to do the work. The ulti is down by the Chronosphere. Holds him there. The bear tossed on the roof. Now they finally get the kill. The buyback can come out from the Death Prophet, but really, what's he going to do? He can drag the creep wave back off, but of course, chasing down the Oracle. He'll die. Shashlo barely escaping. He actually pulls his bear and BT to the top lane. He's trying to keep that pressure up. Aloha's actually going to BT himself up there to make sure that lane doesn't force out any further.
Game is so close. It would be so much better if only Undershock was able to make some sort of progression in items, but he hasn't been able to for like the last 15 minutes.
He needs to buy something though. He bought back. He's got 3.2k gold just sitting in his inventory, and he can't use that for buyback and a force.
Oh no!
Oh, he's got diffuser blade charges. He's looking for the locks. Undershock, Invis,
Ring
just
around the
trying
rosy.
to juke it at the moment, but he still sees it because of the gem. And Undershock is down 104 seconds without buyback available. HR in a sticky situation, and that Weaver is still trying to push at the top lane. However, Empire are not in the greatest position yet until this. They buy back now on the Death Prophet.
Oh, what was that buyback though?
I don't know. It felt a little sketchy, worrying that Shashlo was in too much trouble. But what's he really going to get instead now, as far as items go? Like, he kind of wants that the buyback after he takes damage in the fight. That I can understand.
Yeah.
But they need to stall up this game a little bit longer. They need the Tiny. Yep. The Observers and Sentries down. Are we really going to go back into this position where Aloha sits as the front row tank? That Lightning Bolt is able to reveal out the fact the two Observer Wards are there. Now again, they use maybe a little bit of it at a different time. Funnick, he's underneath the Sentry Ward. They reveal him because the Sentry was in the mid. He Lotus Balls back up again. The Bear is trying to go to work here, but it's going to get Nightmared up. Shasho, he does have a resummon available for the Bear. Holds it down. And now also on the top lane, Aloha Dance
Aloha
just trying to
Dance
push
for
for Megas. The ulti is down from Afro. So Resolution, he comes in close to a large amount of physical damage, but they walk away from the Aghanim's Death Ward. It's wasted by HellRaisers. They thought Empire was going to come in deeper, and they don't come in.
All they have to
wait
do
on the
now
door.
is wait out the exit.
There's a jump. Oh no! No fear, a huge ulti from him. The exorcism is still going to work. Yola Warriors goes in to protect him, but there's your Chrono. The Void is Yule-scepted up, but Afro, he's locked in by the Bane. They're looking for some kind of stun. 5 attacks, there's still no entangle. That kept Afro there almost a full duration. He's going for the Siphons. They only get through the Trim Protector. Shasha is too low. Aloha trying to finish up the lone draw. He got just one attack with a switch. Now, he could fight back. The ulti is still available for him if he wants, and there's a rare. They have enough. Illusion's going down.
HP, got him.
Afro is still there though. Afro is still the back line. Funnick as well as the Force trying to kill him off, but Undershock, they're back into the fight. They're still up against Megas. Can Undershock, he can blink in a moment. He has the Avalanche available. Time Walk available for Reverse in 1 second time. He waited for the blink, and now in comes the Avalanche. Toss him back further. Now he can't use that Time Walk just to escape. Undershock, he's not gonna chase.
He's not able to. He knows he doesn't have the damage enough by himself.
Go buy an item.
But now they've just got to go all down mid, it seems like. Either that or stand up against Mega Creeps, but that seems unlikely.
Okay, they got 18 seconds until Exorcism is ready. But you've only got one bear. You've only got one bear on the Druid. They still need to have more damage on Undershock to force the issue this early.
And like they don't really have a choice, though.
Well, this could actually be... Oh, if Undershock is able to sneak himself over there... sneak himself over there. It's an Aghanim's tree ulti just watching everywhere. They BT in the Weaver, and they're just going to take out Roshan so quickly. Aegis as well as Cheese. This someone looks like a horse can actually take the Aegis, or Resolution could.
Oh, one last fight.
Roshan has fallen to the dark.
HellRaisers has to do this so well. They have that refresher now for the Death Prophets. They have the double ulti. So they have the ulti for the fight and the ulti for the push. But Empire don't have to fight them. Like if they wanted, they could just flip push this. They have an opening. Treant. Undershock trying to beat through him. There goes Cheese already. Undershock. It's a refresher ulti over on him, but look back towards the mid. That's where Shasha's trying to beat in. He's actually attacking the racks at this point. Afro's going to get Nightmare out of the fight, and they catch out Goddamn back behind the lines. Afro's moving forward.
Right now.
They're going for the tier 4 towers. Remember, back at the Radiant base, that creep wave is pushing in. No one's keeping back. They're going to deal directly with HellRaisers right here, right now. And good game, well played. It was the last roll of the dice. Team Empire, almost 1 hour in length. They take game 1 of this 2-game series up against HellRaisers. There's definitely more to come though, so do not turn off your streams.
Impressive that HellRaisers were able to hold on for this long. I mean, the whole entire time this game was going on, you were thinking Team Empire's gonna win, Team Empire's gonna win, but the fact that they managed to stretch it out and give you those tiny moments where maybe HR can pull this back from the jaws of defeat would be absolutely insane. But HellRaisers, a lot of respect for what they pulled out there, and honestly, if this